Yeah, I'm doing pretty well this morning.
Fresh from bombing. The Gola boy is back.
Yeah, definitely. Bowman is a place to be. Like I always say, sometimes you go Bowman, you don't want to come back, especially when you want to take a look about the trend of developments. You want to compare the bombing before to the bombing now, and the progress done thus far, and the ways in which the citizens have chosen development over interest. Uh, it speaks to the fact that bombing is progressing, and like every other country, there is a need that we attach development to everything that we want, everything that we do, because oftentimes the politics in Liberia has been, we all go, we denigrate one another. We see all sort of things. We undermine one another in our various counties, and it causes a lot of setback. It leaves a hindrance. It serves as a hindrance to development, because when this unity exists, honestly, there will be no room for development. And oftentimes across Liberia, that has affected the trend of development across. So yeah, thankfully we begin to realize that there is a need. We unite, unity in diversity, regardless of what are the situations. There is a need that we unite for a common goal. So today, the unity that persists in Burma is what Karen accounted for, and the other countries around definitely is what we call it. We encourage every one of you to celebrate unity and diversity.
When it comes to bombing, the guy can be too sharp, but that's good. I think 2 years now. Yeah, the last time I visited the bombing, and bombing is right here. It's not far
Yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah.
But it's good to be here, folks, and those of you watching as well, our viewers, you are so special, and it pleases us being back on this edition of the show. So all you need to do is invite somebody and let's have conversation. The cool Harris. The cool man. I'm experiencing that for my voice this morning. Hope I can really recover. So there are too many things to talk about. On Friday of last week, we talked about the issue of Helen Johnson returning to Unity Party politics.
Yeah, yeah.
We just, pass out that particular stuff. But there are issues that we need to talk about this morning, folks. So let's just give you the rundown of happenings here this morning. It is great to be here. There are too many interesting conversations. Over the weekend, the National Elections Commission dismissed one of its hired staffers. Yeah, one of its hired staffers. And according to the National Elections Commission, that was just a breach of confidence, and some of the issues, ethical issue, breach of ethical issue, and it all centers around the lady one Antoinette Yancey. Yeah, Antoinette Yancey. Yes, she was caught in ethical violation that, according to the National Elections Commission, is against their belief, their ethical belief, and their ethical standard as an institution. Harris, please get the National Elections Commission press release.
Yeah. I'm trying to lay my
Yeah,
hands
so we'll
on
get
it.
that exactly.
But anyway, let me get it.
Yeah.
Let me get it.
So
Something is appearance strange. Yeah.
something is appearing
It's
strange.
appearance strange in the sense that the NDC took the action, but it's not on a social media account. I don't know why up to this time.
Yeah,
The
so
commission,
that
the commission has reneged on publishing that information on our official Facebook page. Anyway, that's it. This is Liberia for you.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah, but I have it.
So the National Elections Commission, fellow Liberians, took the decision to have terminated the service of Antoinette. And as per multiple information we've received so far, that Antoinette is a member of the CDC. Not just a member, but she occupies a key position, the chairlady thing and the rest of it in the CDC. So a conversation between she and the chairman of the party sparked out. It was actually leaked, and at the end result, it centers around district number 10, Monserrato County, where you have the Muslim building. She is a registrar. She was a registrar at under the National Elections Commission at district number 10. And of course, she was encouraging, as per some of the information we received so far, encouraging the chairman of the Coalition for Democratic Change in making sure that some of their supporters take advantage of the process, that they have an advantage where once they get registered in district number 10, they will have an upper hand in the Ottawa polls against Representative Yeke Koluba. The National Elections Commission took that decision over the weekend to have terminated the service of Antoinette. Prior to the termination of Antoinette's service, another man too was terminated. His service was also terminated by the National Elections Commission on grounds that he had to go face to face with a journalist, a local journalist, when he was performing his function. What wrongs to mind when the National Elections Commission is taking such a decision at a time the process is going on? We will definitely, and what effect too it has on Liberia and its elections? Because we all have cried for the issue of peaceful election as well. But there are multiple sources as it relates to this particular thing about Antoinette. The last time I was following one-on-one conversation, prior to the start of the voter registration exercise, it is not bad for those in position. I don't know. It baffles me. Is that the only way to get people job who do not have job from the party? Sometimes you want to encourage them to take advantage of the National Elections Commission. Probably that could be voter roll or during election time, not pool washer, but national election staff, where you have the INGA, you have the presiding officers and the rest of it. So sometimes you want to have people in the middle of the entire thing from your angle, so take advantage of the process and playing key role.
Sometimes what I want to believe at times, the party cannot be directly influence or spared who the NEC chooses. But this is what happened. At times, after the whole process has been done, after the NEC or whatever organization has recruited those they want to work with, then the party will look among all those names published, perhaps, and call for all those that are members of the party that form part of that organization, or is doing or is performing a said function. So when these individuals are gathered, then they're where the party will give a specific mandate to them. So I want to believe that at times too it plays out. That I'm not ruling out the fact that it is not possible that the CDC has influenced, or it's possible of influencing the process, by putting more of their supporters into it. But at times it sets the place.
But it plays out.
It plays out. That we can rule out. But again, what happens at times, you want to sit back, all right, and look at all those that are being recruited and call for a party mandate and see who all that form part of that process are from their political institution, right? When they are there, then from there, they receive the party mandate as to what they are going to do while they are there. So at one point in time, you see the person signing up that they will remain transparent, they will remain accountable, not until when they're being selected, then they go for the party mandate. What the party says to them is what they...
Okay, so I'm getting your point on the other side.
Not that
exactly. The government, probably the party will have influence over the decision of National Elections Commission to select people from their region and the rest of it. But I'm getting that point. So as per that particular information we providing this morning, we'll look at it. We will read out the press statement from the National Elections Commission and some of the leaked document. Sometimes it is always good. The very first time I came across this thing prior to the start of the voter registration exercise, can you imagine there were people who, like what I'm saying, right? There were people who are from the CDC and they were having some conversation. They said, a silent conversation. They said, we want for our people to be part of this National Elections Commission registration stuff, but even those that they recruited, the people even know the computer and thing. So I think the party needs to conduct a tutorial for them, as the National Elections Commission will accept them and will have a good advantage. Can you imagine that? So sometimes you want to help, but again, the people who you're helping should be up to the task. In helping. So we'll look at that this morning. We'll read out the conversation from the conversation between Moba Molu and Antoinette Yancey this morning, as per the communication from the National Elections Commission terminating her service due to ethical breach and the rest of it. There's another development this morning that we just pair with that development up to 9 o'clock. And then we'll look at the next conversation this morning. There's this alleged attack on Grand Kitman County Senator Simeon Bwema-Taylor, Representative Buck Sharif, and Hassan Kiazulu. It was being reported that they were on an attack in the Mano River, Congo, Grand Kitman County. Oh, yes. So it is being alleged that a guy who is believed to be a strong supporter of one of the candidates. There was this issue in Grand Kitman during the senatorial election. One Elisa from
Idris. I think
Idrissa. From Grand Kitman County, and there was serious electoral violence in that part of the country. But what is happening? Senator Bwema-Taylor, Simeon Bwema-Taylor, has accepted to speak with us this morning. We will definitely look at that this morning and other issues on this edition of the show. At 9 o'clock, we place serious emphasis on the president's Executive Order 177. In March of this year, the president issued an executive order instructing all government officials, those appointed in government, to resign before April 7 of this year. Others see it as a clear violation of the Code of Conduct of 2014, and after it was being amended. So now the Code of Conduct in 2014 talked about the resignation of those appointed by the president 2 years prior to an election in the country. But again, others saw it as being discriminatory, and at the end of the day, they said that there was a need to amend the act, and in 2022, it was amended by the legislature. Going forward, the new act, as per the Code of Conduct and some of the provisions that we'll read out at 9 o'clock this morning, it calls for government officials, most especially appointees, ministers, deputy ministers, ambassadors, and the rest of it, to resign 1 year prior to election. But the president issued the order in March of the same election year, and others see it as a violation to the Code of Conduct. But again, there was a writ of prohibition filed by the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia, of Emmanuel Gongwe. And in that writ of prohibition, Emmanuel Gongwe called on the Supreme Court of Liberia to be decisive on the matter. As to whether the president is charged with the responsibility to issue an executive order when the Code of Conduct is already an existing law in the country. So according to them, it is a clear violation, and they want for the Supreme Court to look into the matter. So the Supreme Court is expected to look into that matter on Wednesday. On Wednesday will be the 5th of April, April 5. The Supreme Court is expected to look into that particular matter. Emmanuel Gongwe, of course, we will speak with Emmanuel Gongwe at 9 o'clock this morning on the show. So know some of his issues, what his concerns are as it relates to the president's executive order 177, hopefully I-9 this morning. So it's great to be here, folks. Too many things to talk about. Those of you watching, just leave, invite somebody. Yes, let's have conversation. It's good that we do that this morning. Yes. Okay. So those of you watching, we acknowledge you watching this morning. Okay. So we'll look at the issue of this particular communication from the National Elections Commission. But let's take Senator Boeman Taylor, Simon Boeman Taylor, at 8 o'clock this morning on the line. He can narrate his story, exactly what happened, and then we move on. Edward Hammond, thanks for joining us from Car City. Papi Keita, thanks for joining us from Dupont Road. Timothy Buchanan, that's Buchanan Gabla. He said, I think that decision is welcoming. Benedict Tobe says, following you guys from Ganta City, thank God for another day to be alive this morning. Timothy Buchanan said, it's all wrong for any party members to work in any critical institution like the National Elections Commission. Others are joining with a very large comment. Joe J. One Way, thanks for joining us too as well. All you need to do, invite somebody and let's have conversation this morning, on the show. Okay, so I think you will have to,
I've been trying to reach him, but no way.
Yeah, they are all involved. This morning we actually try to get to them this morning. But let's go to Boeman. Boeman is our contributor from Grand Cape Mount. Boeman will bring us up to speed. Elijah Boeman from Grand Cape Mount County. He knows exactly what happened. He will actually give us an account. And of course, at 8 o'clock this morning, we will get to Senator Taylor, Senator Simeon Taylor this morning from Grand Cape Mount County. But on the line from Grand Cape Mount is Elijah Boeman. Good morning, Elijah. Let's hear you. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Paco, and let me say good morning to all of your listeners. It's a pleasure joining your platform this morning.
Okay, so how is Cape Mount? Which part of Cape Mount you joined us from?
Well, I'm based in the Gola Konen district, and that part is in District 1, an annex to Pokwa district that makes up District 1.
Okay, that's good. And it's great that we have you on the line this morning so we can have conversation. There is an alleged, a reported attack on Senator Simeon Boeman Taylor of Grand Cape Mount. Bob Sharif, I'm told as well, a representative from Grand Cape Mount, and Hassan Kazulu from the Montserrat County who has expressed interest of contesting the senatorial race in Grand Cape Mount. I guess you clue to this particular happening. Liberians are concerned. They are listening and watching as well. They want to know what exactly happened.
Well, on yesterday, but before yesterday, you've been following the issue of influx of cross-border voters. There have been people leaving Sierra Leone in their hundreds, if not thousands, crossing into Cape Mount through the Pokwa end. To register. Among them have been Sierra Leonean, proven by the arrest of an immigration officer, a Sierra Leonean immigration officer who obtained Liberia's voter registration card. In fact, he was arrested, brought to the LIS headquarters in Monrovia, and later the Sierra Leonean immigration chief came and they handled it bilaterally or something like that, and he was taken back to Sierra Leone. And so on yesterday, as we were told, Representative Emerson Kamara of Cape Mount District 3, Representative Bob Sherif of Cape Mount District 1, Senator Simeon Taylor of Cape Mount, and Representative Hansen Kiazulu of Monserrato District 17, like you said, who have expressed interest in contesting the Senate race in Cape Mount, thought to visit Pokwa. And as part of their visit, Senior Senator Taylor was born in Manariwa, Congo, so I'm told they thought to pass the night at Manariwa, Congo, which is the seat of Idrissa Massare, one of the business men in Cape Mount, who has always been actively involved into politics. And so they have gone Manariwa, Congo, and at exactly 8:30 p.m. Yesterday night, they came on a heavy attack. There was stone throws and what have you, single barrel gunfire, gun sounds here or in the town, and some of the security personnel assigned there at Manariwa, because they are not in their numbers anyway, and so somehow to flee to safety. So it was citizens against citizens and something like that, and they managed to have destroyed the windshield of Senator Taylor's pickup, or black pickup he has with HOS lesson plate. The windshield was smashed by a stone, but I can't see from where now. But I'm told guys loyal to the senator and the representatives managed to have overrun those attackers, and what I can confirm is that they slept in Manariwa, Congo, despite the attack, because I spoke with Honorable Sherif last night. He confirmed the incident but said they were passing the night at Manariwa, Congo, and that Pokpa belongs to every one of them and no one can scare them out of Pokpa. So I can say yes, they slept. The three of them now, because Emerson is from the Guasi end. So he went to Guasi, to his hometown, while Honorable Hansen, Honorable Taylor, and Honorable Sherif passed the night at Congo.
Is there any understanding as to who really carried on this attack, or who was actually behind this?
Well, there's actually a rift between Honorable Sherif and businessman Idrissa Massare. What I'm told is that in 2017, they were both partner. I mean, Honorable Massare helped him, Honorable Sherif, in the political sphere, and he won. But they broke up at a certain time, and Honorable Sherif thought to help Honorable Taylor against Honorable Victor Watson, who was the businessman interest in 2020. Something that fueled bad blood within Honorable Idrissa Mr. Massare. And so the fight is Mr. Massare is now supporting his daughter in District 1, where Honorable Sherif is. So he has his daughter Bintu Massare that is opting to contest the upcoming October 10 poll. And so the fight is to unseat Honorable Sherif. So the old man has vowed by all means that Honorable Sherif, for what they term as ungratefulness, will be unseated come October 10th. So that's when you see the tension is so high in Pokpa district. It is the fight to unseat Honorable Sherif. But with the influx of people or voters from Sierra Leone or Sierra Leoneans into the Liberian democratic space, it will also affect even at the Senate level, because Mr. Massare is supporting Senator Watson to make a comeback. Then his daughter at the District 1 level, then one Vani Momo Senwa in District number 2, that's the Gaula end there. So he has interests all across the county, and it is those interests that he wants to protect by all costs.
We want to look at quickly, before we get to a very major point as well that you stress on the issue of Ebaseveluans coming to the process. But there is this thing, someone want to understand the relationship between Simeon Taylor now, who is not a major factor to this whole electoral process, and that of Idrissa. Because the thing is, when we listen to it, that even Simeon Taylor was one way or the other affected by the guy's action, then someone want to understand as to what kind of relationship exists between Idrissa and Simeon Taylor.
The relationship is fragile, if not bitter. There have never been a good relationship between the two from the Diamond days. I don't know whether you know that Senator Taylor comes from the mineral background. Senator Taylor Idrissa has had issues since he was, or if I may term it, diamond ball. They had that bitter blood, and that blood rolled even up to politics. Mind you, in 2017, Senator Taylor and Bob Sherry went to court. And Senator Taylor felt he was cheated. And this Mr. Massari at the time was with Honorable Sharif. So they had that bitter engagement. In fact, that was also tense. There were many days that both supporters would clash and something like that. So the misfeeling between Senator Taylor and Mr. Massari did not start from today. It started as far back as the mineral days. That was around 2011, 2012, and what have you. And that has lived on all the way to the political space.
Okay, but let's get to the issue of the National Elections Commission. Prior to the 2017 elections, coming down to the 2020 elections, there were too many revelations from Grand Cape Mount that people from Sierra Leone were crossing over to get registered into Liberia and participate into our electoral process. Now, as per this latest revelation, I followed the Liberia Immigration Service as well, and they confirmed the arrest of people from Sierra Leone, coming to Liberia to get registered and the rest of it. What are officials in the country doing? What measures have they instituted to get this thing off? That every electoral process you have people from Sierra Leone coming to Liberia participating.
Well, the leadership of Grand Cape Mount County is not, if I may say, the talking leadership. I don't remember the last time you heard Cape Mount leadership call a press conference to speak on the state of affairs of the county. It's not so unique to Grand Cape Mount County like we will see the Bassa superintendent, Magibi superintendent, addressing issues of concern in their county. We've noticed that in Grand Cape Mount County. And so since this entire voter registration started with the kind of tension it has attracted in Pogba district, not a single official at the county level has been able to speak about it. And pundits are beginning to think, even the central government, if it wouldn't have been for the arrest of the immigration officer Sylvester Flomo, because he registered as Sylvester Flomo, but his real name is Zwana Kuruma. You know this earlier, who spelled it Kuruma, Kurome. So besides that particular arrest, since people have been talking about the cross influx of Sierra Leone, and there have not been much from the central government. And likewise the county, because those at the county level are appointees of the executive, and so they wouldn't feel secure speaking when they have not gotten the green light from their bosses. And so at the county level there's total silence.
One of the things we are more concerned about is that the fact remains that these civilians are still infiltrating the system. At times you will want to listen to rumors, and you will understand that there must be some county officials some have been supporting those civilians to leave that country and come to register in Liberia. I mean, have you gathered or at any point in time hear from the public or accusing fingers at some of the officials being the brains behind those civilians entering to register?
For this particular process, what I know in 2020, uh, there were some local officials because it was like a vote one, vote all, and so some of the local officials at the statutory level, at the county level, in fact, some said openly, if you cannot support the CDC, it means you are not worth to be in position, that which they said clear at several meetings. So we could say yes, they defended the process, they were in the process, but for now, all fingers have been turned to the CDC leadership, whether at the county or at the central level. It is alleged that CDC is defending this businessman Idrissa Masari, who has a very good relationship with the Sierra Leonean from the Makbele end, that is right across the border. That's an entire chiefdom with over 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 human beings, and he has even gone beyond the Makbele area where Liberians are, to close to Freetown, to bring in some of the Sierra Leonean from other districts across the Sierra Leone side, and even one of our colleagues from Cape Town, Andrew Masale, even pointed accusing finger to we refer to him as councilman, the mobilization chairman for CDC Cape Town, Soko Was. He's around the Bullwater side area. So until the central government can clear the doubt of the people, many are saying CDC is in strong support of the influx of Sierra Leoneans into our process.
Sometimes these things might be said, but again, those who are involved, the association can say as to whether they're actually doing it. Let's look at the businessman and his relationship with the CDC. Do you sometimes see him with anything that resembles the CDC, or some of the things that that he would say resemble the CDC and the rest of it?
He's a sedition, as far as we know. In 2020, Senator Watson is a sedition, and I'm sure you know that in 2019, after he lost the convention, he had to switch to the PUP or something. He lost CDC convention, so he switched to the PUP and he won. And he even recontested in 2020 on the CDC ticket. And in fact, just recently at the endorsement of the Western region for the re-election of President Weah at TNE. I was at that program, and Mr. Masari was there in his entire CDC brigade with the B-red on his head. So yeah, he's one of the stalwarts of CDC in Grand Cape County. I can confirm that.
Thanks for joining us, Elijah. We wish you all the best. Thanks so kindly for fitting us in from Grand Cape County with this development.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay. Boima is from Grand Cape Mount. How is he listening to Boima? Let's get to Senator Taylor quickly this morning.
I listened to him, but
yes.
Let's take the senator first, and then we'll come back to have a discussion surrounding that, because especially on the issue he mentioned about the influx of Sierra Leoneans into the process is very dangerous to our electoral process, and coupled with the issue about violence, the acts of violence, especially in rural parts of Liberia, is very dangerous, because these are areas you see the presence of security is not felt, right? There are now more security personnel in those very areas. So you want to consider how the effect of those happenings, especially like you mentioned, sometimes.
Okay, so we have the senator on the line. Good morning, Honorable Senator. How are you? Good morning, Honorable Senator. Senator Taylor, good morning. Welcome. I don't know what's happening. I don't know whether we can. Okay, I hope I can get him back.
You want to be careful. Sometimes it be
no.
Maybe voice message.
Yeah, that's what I see. But he was actually busy on another line. Probably he might have. So, good morning, Senator Taylor. How are you? Yeah, so we're struggling to get it. Good morning, you're live on Voice of Liberia in Monrovia.
Good
Good morning.
Okay, Senator, we are concerned this morning. Are you in Grand Cape Mount? Do you care to disclose your location?
I'm presently in Monrovia.
Monrovia, meaning, okay, so you're in Monrovia. There is this reported attack against you and others. You have the legs of Representative Bob Sharif in Congo, Grand Kitman County, a county you represent at the level of the Liberian Senate. Can you confirm this information? Liberians are listening and watching as well. They want to hear from the senator from Grand Kitman County as per this alleged act being carried on against you and others.
Yes, that's true. We were attacked last night by a few persons or quote unquote Idris Vector supporters in Mano River, Congo.
Can you come again? Are you saying supporters of who?
Supporters of Waxing Idris in Mano River, Congo.
Are you talking about former Senator Victor Waxing?
Yes.
Okay.
In Mano River, Congo and its environment.
Okay.
Every step we did, we were attacked. First, we were attacked to Jejua when we went to observe the center. We were attacked there. We left, we came back to Mano River. We were attacked there. In fact, for Mano River, they were shooting guns and throwing at our car and the police car. We didn't just go there alone. We went there with police. And the police will give you the details. We went, I didn't even go to my house in Mano River. I went straight to the commissioner house and to inform him that we were in the town and so that we would have some discussion. As immediately we got there, we were attacked by Idris again, anticipated. Both time attacking us. And government says nothing about it. They do nothing about it. They burned my vehicles, they burned two of my vehicles. Up to now, the investigations still continue. It will never end. But all I want to say, we're going to take the necessary actions and we're going to stop all those greater things that are happening against our country. We represent our country. We have oversight responsibility. There is nothing that should happen in our country without our consent.
But Senator, it is scary that you have to inform people or go in your own country with police.
What do? The people, and then we always say this to the people, we always flag those issues. We say that, look, we are bordering, our country is bordering with another country. Our country is bordering with another country, and that country is interfering with our electoral process. We have said it before I came to the Senate. I have said it over and over and again.
What exactly were you doing in Grand Kitman County in the Congo region on yesterday?
You will agree with me, Stephen, that the whole of Monrovia, in fact, the immigration website said that they were Sierra Leone flowing into our electoral process. They are registering Sierra Leone and the rest of it. So we went to verify. We went to actually verify because we represent the county and we hearing the kind of news that were coming from our county. We needed to go there and to ensure that if it is ongoing, to advise the people to stop it. If it was not happening, then we know what the facts are. So we went there, we went to a few centers and we went to Mano River. And because there were 7 centers that was allegedly accused of registering Sierra Leone. You have the Lagos Center, the Vakenway Center, the Tangamas, the Jejua Center, the Pamala Center, the Bombo Center, the Fono, the Kavilang, and Mano River, Congo. So these centers were the ones that were accused of registering Sierra Leone. And our oversight responsibility covers that. So we went to make sure to see as to what the information that was coming from the county is true or lied. And we went there. The people got angry. Why we went there? We shouldn't go there. In our own country, we shouldn't go there. What's that?
Come in.
Yeah, Senator Taylor, when you point accusing finger to Idris Masare and Victor Watson, someone want to understand those that came out to attack you. Did you see anything, or any one of them you could identify could be supporters of Idris Masari or perhaps of Victor Watson?
The
Because
person who stole my car and broke the windshield is Richard Sharif, one woman Penyan, and another boy called Rodo. These are the same people that bring the first cars, and they are always with Victor Watson. If you go on Victor Watson Facebook page, you find Richard Sharif there. You find the guy. The other two guys are the electric one among them, and he was there physically. We saw him. The police saw him, and everybody saw him, and he was stoned at the car and started shooting guns, Stephen. So all I can say to you, it's a critical situation. We are in hard times, but we need to solve the problem.
Honorable Taylor, Liberians are concerned that we witnessed similar issue in Grand Cape Mount in 2020, right after the elections, and you guys had to go to court and the rest of it. What wrongs to mind you emerged as winner of that particular senatorial election? One would say you haven't done much to unite the country, looking at the way in which you won the election. The issue of reconciliation should be number one on your table.
The issue is not about reconciling the people.
Mhm.
The people of Grand Cape Country have reconciled already. The people that are infiltrating our electoral process are not Cape Mountaineans. The people that are causing the violence, they are very few people. And they want to break their way through to get in power. So they are bringing people from different countries to come and help them. And we are saying no to that. That's the problem.
If the people were united, probably they could have stopped those who want to bring people from Sierra Leone into it.
Who told you how we got the information to go there?
Okay.
They were stopping them. And they didn't stop. But if a certain senator will go in the country and people stood at the senator car in the face of the police officer, and you talk about the ordinary man who don't have power.
Then how do you reconcile?
And that's where people come to start fighting back.
Then
Come about. The people are abused, and central government cannot take care of them. They cannot protect them. These are where problem comes.
Then how do you reconcile the fact that when you speak that the people are united at one point in time, then secondly, you as a senator of the people who representing Cape Martinians at the Liberian Senate, you're still being attacked in your own county to an extent that even entering Cape Mount.
Listen, you see how I was protected? The people are trying the police people, they broke the police people car windshield. Also, the police people ran away, they left me there. They said they came to my rescue.
So now
They came to my rescue.
It is scary.
They have to save the police. And they are saying that these things are ongoing. They have called, they have informed us, they are saying no, and the people are still doing that which they are doing.
So what exactly are you about to do? So now you were on a journey with I'm told Hazen Kezulu, who was in to that particular conversation with you. What exactly were you doing with them on that route?
All of us went to observe the centers. All of us went to observe the centers. And we were there. And I just don't want to speak on this again. After this interview, I'm not going to take any more interview. I'm going to take the necessary actions.
What would be your action, Honorable Senator? Because this thing, it is.
We're going to inform the international world that this is happening in Grand Cape County. We're going to inform the Senate. We're going to inform the government officially. We're going to inform the government. And these are things that are happening in our country, and government is not taking the right action. So we're going to inform them. We're going to put them on record to take the right action.
It happened in 2020, Senator Taylor, and we are concerned is that why you think government will not take action against those who are involved?
I don't know why government is not taking actions, but I think government should take action. And I think this time around, government is going to take actions.
Senator Taylor, you have the power, you have the will at the Liberian Senate to place this matter before plenary for discussion, especially you want to take into consideration.
I'm going to take the necessary actions. The action would be to inform the Senate, to write the Justice Ministry, to write the Embassy of Sierra Leone, to write the European Union, the EU, the American Embassy. We're going to make issues.
Says this
from the right person.
Says this to the climax of the voter registration exercise in Grand Cape. How soon do we expect this to happen?
Beginning from today, and besides, besides they can even conclude with the voter registration, there will be execution. The laws are there.
Okay.
They are remedies to everything. So we can do that, and we can strengthen our bowlers, we can tighten our bowlers, and there will be citizen arrest.
Okay, so before we take leave of you, let's look at your relationship with caucus members. Sometimes when these things come out and then you have a caucus that is more robust and a local county leadership, sometimes these situations can be arrested by the very caucus. Let's look at the relationship.
We are united in this. We are there together. We are there together. The caucus members, Honorable Kamara, Honorable Sharif, Senator Shemo, Honorable Sony, and we are there together. I didn't go to visit those senators on my own. The caucus agreed that we should go and see. Senator Shemo should have gone with us, but you are not feeling too well. Okay? So you cannot tell us that we, the legislative caucus of Benjamin County, cannot visit those senators when there are roaming issues. And for our county, and we just tell them over, that means that we are not representing the people.
Do you hope to return to the county anytime soon?
Of course, I'm going. I want to keep quiet, easy. I'm going to the country on the after tomorrow. I'm going by.
Okay.
No one going to scare me from going in that country. I'm going there, and I will always be there.
Aside from Senator Simeon Taylor, who else? Which one of the county officials as well has faced this similar attack, just as the way you face it?
Honorable Kazudu was there. He represents Monserrado, but he also comes from Cape Mount. Honorable Bob Sherry was also there. Honorable Kamara will be there this time when we're going back.
One would think, as per the understanding, that you are one with the other supporting what is meaning Hazen Kazulu, and that's why you guys are going on a ride. How true is this?
Of course, yes. I am supporting Hazen Kazulu, but we didn't go around because of his support. We went around because we felt that the wrong thing was happening in Cape Town and we needed to put a checkmate to it. That's why we went there. So I'm not contesting election, but I have oversight responsibility and to pursue the people's happiness. Okay? That's one of my cardinal functions, the pursuit of my people's happiness. So if somebody is infringing on them, you expect me not to go there?
What can you say to Liberians and those from Cape Town listening who are now in the county now watching as well? What can you say to them before we take leave of you this morning?
Get united on this. All Cape Townians need to resist this because you know why? They will carry a voting card that represents Cape Town. They will go to the foreign ministry of Liberia and obtain a passport, and they will declare that they are Cape Townians and go in foreign land, look people, steal from people, and they say Liberians are not good, most especially from the Western Belt. That's one. They will use the identical voting card, go and seek for other properties in Liberia, like for example, mining creek licenses. They will go and use that voting card to acquire other documents that will make them to appear like Liberians. So there are a lot of things that they will do for those voting cards that they illegally got.
Okay. All right. And the National Elections Commission too is key. And I think it should be the first point of contact. I guess you've already contacted the National Elections Commission.
They are aware, and they will be officially aware maybe today.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for accepting to talk with us this morning, Senator Taylor. Wish you the best, and please be safe.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, he is Senator Simeon Taylor from Grand Kitma County. You listen to him, Liberians. We're doing everything possible to also get to former Senator Victor Wasson. He is at the middle of this accusation. Yes, so
I hope we could text our guy there from Came Up.
Yes, so yes,
trying as well to get Bob Sherry.
Yeah, Bob Sherry, Victor Wasson, and the rest of the guys.
But Parker, honestly, to admit, this is not healthy for a country like Cape Mount. I mean, when these things are happening, the race is concerned. It tells that it predicts further actions in the electoral process. I always say this current state we're in, it sets the pace about the kind of electoral process we will have. So if we continue to conduct ourselves in this form and manner, especially counties, rural parts of Liberia, where you don't have the presence of security personnel to that extent, the manpower, there is a very minimal amount of security forces in the various counties, right, outside of Mosul. So you want to consider when these things are happening. Imagine a certain senator is confirming to you that he went there with the presence of police officers, and to a point that even the police officers couldn't protect him. There was the citizens that have to come out. So come to understand that the citizens were retaliating against the fellow citizens. So it was like a serious commotion at that time. So you can predict as to how chaotic it was for the ordinary citizens, those that are not directly involved into the politics, right, are the ones that will be affected by these actions. So we said this. We hope we can get Victor Watson. I'm trying to get him from this end. He's not picking up because he is the center of this whole controversy. You know, everyone is pointing the accusing finger at him. What is it that he is the one that settled guys to do it? That of course we can establish. But it's good that we get him so he can provide to us. But this is where we are.
So we're doing everything possible to get Senator Victor Watson, former Senator Victor Watson from Grand Cape Mount, yes, and Bob Sharif as well, Representative Bob Sharif. It is key. Like we'll talk about electoral violence.
Seems like I'm out of.
Yeah. So let's no. So we know what's happening. We are not getting to then. It's something that we need to do very fast this morning. We will hope anybody listening to us can actually maybe if you close to Victor Watson.
Yeah, or you have a number.
Yes. Okay. You could just inform him that we're trying to get to him. But it seems that he's not available, so we hope we can get to former Senator Victor Watson, yes, and Representative Bob Sharif as well. Let's see whether we can get to him this morning. This issue is key, and I think it happened in the 2020
elections.
Yes. Yeah, what the other thing, later, but you know,
at times it is accurate.
Okay, I think Senator Bob Sharif, Representative Bob Sharif is. So we're trying to get to Representative Bob Sharif from the House of Representatives. He contested as an independent candidate. Yes, as per the stuff, he represents Cape Mount District number 1. Yeah, so we hope Representative Bob Sharif can just pick up where we can have conversation this morning, and we'll try to get to Victor Watson as well to speak with us. We're doing everything possible to get him, but Representative Bob Sharif is not picking. I hope he can pick up. Hope he picks up very fast this morning, that we'll have conversation. Representative Bob Sharif, hope you pick up. You are also involved into this thing, and I like the way Elijah put it. He gave a background of some of the things that happened, have been happening.
It appears to be like it is a standing conflict. But one of the things that Senator Simetila failed to establish is that there is no unity among the
There is no unity.
That of we can rule out. He understands. Perhaps he wanted to hide behind the fact, that and endorse it. Because if there exists unity, obviously we won't continue to experience these things we are experiencing. We witnessing in 2020 and continue to persist up to present. So you cannot rule out the fact that there is unity. I'm saying that there is disagreement among officials of the country.
The representative is not picking.
Yeah, sure.
The representative is not picking.
It's not picking. We hope we can get.
Yeah, the representative is not picking this morning.
We can just get Victor Watson so easily. I'm still making some rounds.
Okay, so fellow Liberians, you listening and watching. That's the situation from Grand Kitman County. You listen to our contributor and also Senator Victor. That's Senator
This
Taylor.
person kept on this line for a long time.
I don't know what
hope-
exactly.
I hope they want to share for us. Let's just. How you doing?
Good morning, HP. Good morning to the people of Liberia.
Good morning, McLean.
Activist McLean.
Michael will now we want to do all of the rounds.
we
Yeah, we want to do all of the rounds. You will call McLean, but we want to do all of the rounds.
Yeah.
Okay. So Victor Wassin, you have to pick. That will talk to you this morning. Still trying to get to Representative Bob Sherry to talk to us this morning. Grand Kitman County indeed is in the news for the wrong reason. The incident that took place in 2020, the issue of we hope the representative can pick up. I've messaged him at times over the number, and I don't know what's happening. I hope he can pick up this morning and speak with us on this issue. We want to take it from all angles, and that's why you see we want to balance the story, not just getting one person's side, and at the end result we use it as a concluding statement for the discussion, the rest of it. But it is key that we look at that this morning. It all has to do with the National Elections Commission being so robust in handling issues that concern them. All right. So he's not picking. So it is key. You listen to Senator Taylor from Grand Kitman. In 2020, after or prior to the election, fellow Liberians, there was something very terrible that happened in Grand Kitman County. Okay, so we hope we can get Victor Wassin on the line. It is good. Hope he picks up this time around. Yes, just hope he picks up. Oh my word. Oh, the number is off again after we tried getting to him. His number is off again. So fellow Liberian, for the last time.
You are trying to reach.
So we try to balance this entire thing. Representative Bob Sherry is not picking. We tried getting Victor Wassin on this number around, and this time around it is off. So we played our part, and we just want you to know exactly what we intend to do. So you listen to Boerman, who is our contributor from Grand Kitman Harris. He explained his part, why he gathered, and we decided to place serious emphasis by contacting Senator Taylor on this matter. You listen to Senator Taylor. The issue that occurred so that's good. So the issue that occurred in 2020, we'll also try to get to the National Elections Commission spokesperson as well to verify some of these information ongoing so far. In 2020,
You have it from that, didn't you?
yes. So
Okay.
yes. So you can. Yes, I'm trying to get to. Yes, let's make use of
from that side.
Zeros. That's it. Part about this whole entire internet thing is very, very okay. So I think I got it.
Yeah, but I think you can
Yeah.
try hearing
Oh,
hearing
wow.
from what is he.
Okay, so I think I got his number. Yeah.
You're gonna see
Okay, so we're doing everything possible to balance the entire thing. The National Elections Commission is involved as well. We hope we can get to Henry Flomo, the spokesperson or the communication officer for the National Elections Commission. Hope he picks up this time around.
That's exactly what I wanted to say.
And because the last time we tried getting, so you see, my people, the men are communication men, but anytime you call the man, he's not prepared. The men normal now go on voicemail. Hey, God. Yeah, we can still be talking for you, then no thing to get better, but it is something too that we can check. The man will not pick up anytime you call. Oh my word. So we try to get to Henry Flomo for the National Elections Commission. He is the communication officer for the NEC. He has going to. Hey, my word. What's happening? We want to get to Henry Flomo.
Yeah.
We'll call it the man I'm picking. The man no more gone, Sonny. Oh, too bad. Too bad.
I think it's ringing from this
Too
this
bad.
end.
Yeah, it's ringing. Then why is he not picking?
Again, what he's going to pick up? That's what I'm saying. This is a guy that's noted for you call him Chua, he doesn't answer his phone. You text him,
Yeah,
he doesn't reply. But
and the
yet
phone is
still-
ringing.
Yet and still he remains a communication director. So
The phone is ringing. The communication officer for the National Elections Commission phone is ringing, and at this critical point where so you see, it plays out differently, right?
yeah,
It plays out differently.
yeah,
So
and his phone is ringing from
it
all
is
sides.
yes. And it's just intended to balance this whole conversation. The National Elections Commission
Say
did a
Henry
release.
won't answer.
And the rest of it, what's happening to the communication officer of the National Elections Commission?
And the thing about it, Parker, I don't know, perhaps you could correct me on this, but I want to believe that since this issue about the Sierra entering Liberia to register, especially in Grand Cape, and this issue has been raised on multiple occasions, there hasn't been much intervention from the National Elections Commission
No,
relative
no.
on this. And these are things, you see, Parker, this thing that's happening came out, it is presenting an added warning to the electoral process. Mind you, we are going in Grand Gila, in other parts where Nima, in other parts of the country,
We
right?
have tension
that
as
have
well.
bordering countries as well. You want to go and I'm saying you want to look at Lofa, right? You want to look at Grand Gila, Maryland, countries that have borders with nearby countries as well. There's a potential risks that folks from citizens of those countries will enter and register as well. Because you see the process the way it began in Grand Cape County. You want to look at that. The issue about violence, fighting among local officials, on the same issue about the voting process, and nothing has been said by the Elections Commission. It says word as to what's going to happen in other parts of Liberia. Imagine just, Israel came out and the NEC remain table on the matter. What if it is happening in Sano, in Grand Coup, in Grand Gila? You want to consider the distance and solar and in a whole lot. So that's why we are saying this area that the NEC take precautions of these things. And you have those responsible to tell us where the commission has gone in terms of addressing some of these issues remain a problem. Because 2 hours you don't get them. This is where we are. I am trying as much as possible to get hearing as well, both on and off the internet.
And when you must answer the phone, let's have conversation. Yeah, you can't treat the National Elections Commission like that. It is. You message the man will not pick
You
up.
message
So
the man can respond.
it is very bad.
And what is-
So we
and
got
what's more disgusting, he's gonna read the message.
Yeah.
He doesn't respond.
For me, I'm not bothering myself on Henry again. Yeah, that man represents the National Elections Commission. But this is where we are. You listen to Senator Taylor and Boerma, who actually following the issue from Grant Kitman as well. What brings to mind as Liberians, having orders from different countries, coming to our browsers and at the end result, having a direct say into our electoral process. We think is wrong, and it is not the first time for such an information to come out. We followed that in 2020. There were too many revelations from Grand Kitman County that people from Sierra Leone crossed over, and at the end result, they had a direct say into the electoral process. There was this issue in court and the rest of it, people registering 2 times and the rest of it. Bless God, the National Elections Commission was wise to have introduced the biometric system and the rest of it. But there are still issues. We'll still have leakages into our electoral process. One is having people like trucking people right in Monrovia, people leaving from here, going to other counties to get registered. And there are people having back-to-back conversation. It seems that Liberians haven't understood what they have that is so powerful, the constitutional right to change people. Harris, it baffles me to see people having conversation only because they feel that they like somebody. For example, someone is in a movies industry who wants to be other representative for one of the districts. And then somebody from where Magibi, or somebody from where District 17, or somebody from District 12, encouraging somebody from District 12, District 13, and the rest of it to register in another district or county just to have one person elected to the House of Representatives.
Yeah, they can go to that extent of doing it.
How is it understood as per your constitutional right that you just want to empower another person without understanding what it takes as a citizen of this country, that it is a constitutional violation, that it is against your right, you setting your right as a citizen for someone to convince you to leave another area just because you think you want to empower another person? What more about the community in which you live that you can influence a decision-making process in that particular area by voting who you think you want for the betterment of that community or that district? You have that power. So what runs to mind again as Liberians? We are encouraging others from different countries to come and get registered, and at the end result have a say into our electoral process. And after the election, those people will be gone, and those who think we're doing it for, they and our families sit and enjoy what the ordinary people suffer.
Yeah.
What is happening? So all of these things cause violence. All of these things cause violence. What runs to mind? I think we got to give it up for Liberians to have their say on this issue. In the National Elections Commission, it is not just about terminating people who working with you contract or their service, but it's about being robust. It is about being robust. It is about checking. It is about making sure that those political institutions or will-be candidates, aspirants who are involved into electoral violence be penalized. Oh yes, it is important. Like that, the people will see you as a serious institution. Even though you're struggling, but you shouldn't sell your right. You have the power to prosecute. You have the power to penalize.
You see, Paco, again, like you said, the commission should just go beyond issuing statements, right? And ensure that they work with the Liberian National Police and other law enforcement authorities in this country, especially to calm down and to crack down those that are involved in these kinds of activities. And the NDC as an institution should be able to outline what are the punishments that await those who be violators of the election laws in our country, those who are going against the process. That if you go against this process in an instance where you are caught doing voter tracking or taking people from one point to another to register, and which of course it is against what establishes the elections in our country, that person should be, even to an extent, disqualified from participating in the process. When the Elections Commission begins to take some steps that are in the right direction, trust me, it will save this process. But at a time where everyone, even those that are participating in the process, see you as a toothless institution, see you as an institution that is just established, your only concern is on October 10, Liberians go and stand in the queue to vote. How are Liberians voting, whether the process that leading Liberians to the October 10, you don't care. That's why you continue to conduct the elections, especially the voter exercise, in the way, in the manner and form in which it continues to go. And it is wrong for us. It is wrong for a country like Liberia, which of course, I mean, just some 5, 14, 20 years after a civil war, we're trying to build a democracy that will be independent, a democracy that promotes everyone. But these things can happen when those have been charged with the responsibility to make sure, to ensure that the right things are done, are there to do it and execute their function regardless of what kind of affiliation they have with an institution or perhaps an individual. Since this thing came out from Cape Mount that the elections process that Sierra Leoneans are fleeing from the country to Liberia to register to form part of the process, the Elections Commission to this time, there's not much attention being given to that process. Mind you, Sierra Leone is going to election somewhere in June. So Sierra Leone should be more concentrated about their country. Why is it that Liberians are not leaving from Liberia to Sierra Leone? It's because the Sierra Leone process is so
but the people got some things to
complicated in a way that you can just easily penetrate. So you won't find Liberians leaving that country to go there. But these things can only happen when you have a system that everyone can just walk through. When you have a system that anytime you test the system, you succeed. Whether in the right direction, whether in the wrong direction, it doesn't matter. So when you have such a system, trust me, what will happen? At any point in time, anyone can wake up and just walk in. When the process enters Nima, when it enters Nima, trust me, Guineans will come in to register. When the process enters Maryland and Sando, you just need
people from the Ivory Coast
will enter.
Will have to come and
when the process enters Lofa, trust me, the voter population in Lofa will double. Because you have Guineans as well that will be entering the system.
It is scary in Harris.
Because they say, learning a certain example that
yeah, it is
you can
scary.
walk Liberia at any point in time and enter, especially an electoral process.
And this is not the first time for such a thing to happen or to come out from going to Cape Mount. Yes, so the number you provided for Senator Watson, we tried to reach out to him. So we've already pinned the number there. I think one Gipper says Senator Watson, the former Senator Watson, wants to reach out to us as well to balance, to have his side clear as it relates to this allegation.
I wish he can do so.
Yeah, I've already done that.
Yeah, but he can tell him to call.
So Gipper, if you're following, read only your comment. I've replied to you. He can call those numbers, and then Senator Watson, the former senator, indeed, will be live on Good Morning Liberia on VOL 104.1 FM. Okay, so it's great to be here. Before we can go to the line this morning. We hope. So that's it. So I think we got to go to the phone line when we get Senator Watson, the former Senator Watson. That's it. If not, we continue this morning on the show. This is Good Morning Liberia. 9 to 9:15 up to 9:30. We will get the Economic Freedom Fighters Chief Executive, the CRC for the Economic Freedom Fighters, Emmanuel Gongwe. Yeah, we are actually be here as well on the line to speak with us on some of the issues. One that has to do with the writ of prohibition filed at the Supreme Court of Liberia. You call us on 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907. At the numbers, Harris will have a call from the far right.
Yeah, so we'll
talk
pick
to
the
that
calls
person.
while we await Simil. Good evening. My word. Good
Hello.
morning. I'm becoming used
Good
to
morning.
it.
Yeah, so you always.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You live. Let's hear you.
Okay, good morning to the voice of Liberia family and good morning to my fellow Liberians already led this morning. By the way, on introduction, I'm Alfonso A.F. Camara, calling from district number 10 to be precise. I joined a conversation from my resident to former community this morning.
Let's hear you go ahead. You follow the conversation.
Yeah, I appreciate the topic on the discussion this great morning. You see, the problem of Brian came out today is a cause of female. I will be bold and clear to say it in a very loud tone to say here's the problem. Because as a leader, if you want your leadership should function well, you should set up a reconciliation committee and send the
Senator Waxing, the former
People
senator.
watching and out of Bob, Sherry, and the others you just named it. It's to be biased. He has not timetable to score the better character. How can you tell that the people that are coming from Britain, Sierra Leone, coming in to register in Grand Cayman, there is a cause of better watching, it's a cause of Bob and Sherry and the others you just named it. No, we should not be sentimental. The people are always in a ball of bringing competition amongst the people. And as a leader, you should play a leadership role. Speak
Thank you.
with all.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's talk to another person. Good morning. Go ahead. Let's hear you. Hello? Hello? 0770 907 907 0880 907 907 are the numbers. We have this person on line 5. Good morning. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Yeah, good morning. I'm Michael M. Williamson. I'm from a Bananville resident and happen to be the son of the Paramount Chief for the most violent gun in Grand Cape Mount County Electoral District number 1. We even last night, because of the same violence, I was at the checkpoint when one of the candidates went to register a complaint that was attacked in Mambo Town. To go to the issue, even yesterday I was there. To be quite frank, I will have neck to be blamed. From 2000, that brought Madam Sally to prominence, people from Central have been coming and been involved into our electoral processes. Even the election that brought Representative Bob Sherry to power, most of his supporters came from Sierra Leone. Trust me, for free, I wish I have the time to come and discuss the nitty-gritty of this issue. Since 2017, I have been fighting to put these people together. Since board election, he came to prominence. I'm not taking sides, please. But he has failed to reconcile the people of the street along with senior theater. Could you imagine town chiefs and village have not been speaking to each other since the election of Boy Sherry until 2021, when I started to go based in Papa District to be precise, Manuel River Congo, trying to move around establishing peace and reconciliation tournament. I was in Grand Cape Mount day before yesterday, and even last before via phone I can SMS the police commander Masare number to you, where a candidate by the name of Bentu Masare, that a supporter of Boy Sherry. They even to some town they call Jejua, and Boy Sherry ordered the flushing of the town chief in Jejua on grounds that he allowing people to cross on Sierra Leone and come and register himself.
Are you saying Representative Bob Sherry ordered the flogging of a town chief in that place?
In Jejua town, next officer, even the immigration officer ran away from there. I just forgetting his name. Even last day I have to drive from Monterey. There was a mountain station. Live bullet was released by security of Senator Taylor. As I was speaking to you, the sheriff of the bullet is currently the township commissioner. One Jingbe said, "What you people can be investigating and balance this information, because if care does not take people going off their life on the day of election." Even a next officer was attacked. A girl by the name of Princess in Bamba is a Bolshevik group. They went there with machete. In my present, I have documentary evidence on that. There is Princess, who is the head of the registration process in Bamba.
We need to take his number. I think he provided some information. We'll have to do some
I need
follow
to come
up. That's what I'm
to come over and balance this discussion.
Listen. We need your number. I don't know how I can get it from this end because there are so many calls on the line. But I'm gonna read my number to you. I encourage you, just take it and text me. Let me get yours, then we can talk afterwards.
Okay, this is my personal number that I'm calling.
Your number now, I can get it from the phone. There are a lot of calls on the line. So
okay, can I text it to this number?
Text a number to this number. I appreciate you do that.
Yeah, because I'm driving at the same time calling. But
text it to this number. Then I will take it from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do it quick.
Let me just play for the record's sake.
Go ahead.
Boy Sherry, Representative Boy Sherry, sold by my mother Lacey, so I have no cause of painting him black. I can stay with you, Boy Sherry, before. But they are frustrating violence in Grand Cape Mount County. Let me tell you, Boy Sherry came to the vote, over 2,000 plus votes for Zimi Makwe, Soliman Filo. Even he, Hassan Kiazuri, and a very senior Taylor, a week ago, they were in Sierra Leone. I seen the same people to come and recast vote for them. They have been constant in Cape Man. So now, people are disenchanted in Honorable Sheriff, and they see people who have the old voter registration card next said that if once you have the old card, you come and register. It's true, I'm there, I will now, on my country, I need development. They see very people that brought Boss Sheriff to power with the old voter ID card. These are the same people coming back this time around, not in favor of ball. So they have to block the whole process because they feel that the influence of voters from Sierra makes lawmakers in District 1 and in Grand Cape Man County.
Okay,
and that is
thank you.
Very clear.
So please text a number to this number back. We really need you. Okay, Paco, I think we have to do. There are some other information coming.
Again, this is Alfonso Kamara. Let me complete my thoughts. With no due respect to Mr. Taylor needs to put his house in order. If so, Kema is falling. We can see Kema is falling under the administration. Kema never been under the administration of Councillor Bani Shemet and that the Argon senior senator with a bit of watching. Since Taylor has took over the county seat, there's no peace in Kema. We see division, we see the division parity in Kema. This man is not good. Cemetery is a betrayal. Cemetery is a professional.
Okay, thank you. You don't have evidence to what you say against the sitting senator. We take this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen.
Quickly, let's hear you.
Yeah, this is testimony joining the conversation from Central Monrovia.
Go ahead, testimony, Barkley.
Thanks a million for the journalistic work. Speaking to Grand Cape Man. You see, this country is gradually being damaged by pseudo and wicked politicians. They benefited from a spoiled system, which was never in fact to be the case, because to get elected, the people who live in that particular area, but you're the one that you talk to, and the life that you live there, the development, the way you operated them, can motivate them to make you a leader. But to have left the original people and cross over to Sierra Leone, and you brought people in. And now that the process is going on and you see that they are not in your interest, then you now want to create care. And I think that is bad for Bob, Victor.
So who determines as to whether it is not in their interest, Barkley?
You know that every county here has a godfather. And I'm told that Idris there is the godfather, and he's been the one sponsoring people. And whenever he lifts your hand up, automatically I'm told you will win.
How can he be a godfather when he is not in position? He's not in any elected position.
He's a very strong businessman there. I'm told. I have not gone there before to see him, but I'm told he's a very strong businessman. I'm told that his biological daughter will be in the race, and then he supported Bob Sherry. So if he's not supporting Bob Sherry this time around, obviously he will be supporting his daughter. So there where the problem is coming from, because Bob Sherry benefited from the system, and he knows exactly how they've been talking to people.
Okay.
And he knows that when people are talking,
let's talk to this person.
we win. That's the problem.
Okay, thank you. This person, good morning. Let's hear you.
Thank you. How are you? How are you doing? This is Bernard Kono. I call from Broadville.
Okay, let's hear you, Broadville. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Well, it's sad that the three callers that dropped the line have no idea or whatsoever that is unfolding in Cape Mount. To the point, wrong is wrong and right is right. People coming from Sierra Leone now can be no reason because they came yesterday. Even if they came yesterday, it was wrong. So it still remains wrong today for them to come in their numbers over thousands with the intention of invading our democracy. People who will be voted into power should be voted by the mandate of Liberians and not Sierra Leoneans. That's our point. Besides, the guy who said he's been doing peace and advocacy training or whatever, I can't doubt him or I can't dispute that. But it would be foolhardy of him to say that since Senator Taylor won, he had not called reconciliation meetings. That's far from the truth. On 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 occasions, reconciliation meetings are being called. There, besides, Senator Taylor in person has placed call to the lost candidate at the time, Victor Washington, and even his financial advisor, he personally placed calls to them. They did not agree to talk to him. So what then can Senator Taylor do, or what do they want Senator Taylor to do? So are they saying when Senator Taylor hears as a sitting senator of the country, when he hears that Carolinians are crossing in their numbers, thousands, to come and register to vote in like during elections, don't he have the right to go and find out when his citizens are calling for his presence? Is that wrong? Is Congo managed over a township or kingdom for Idisa?
Okay.
Senator Taylor and his men went to Mano. So
Thanks for joining us.
In a nutshell, the guy who is asking for time, I beg you, when you get granting the time, please let me know too, because I do have a hands-on.
We want to
idea.
get-
So maybe you want to balance it as well.
Please text us.
Text your number to the number you're calling. Just text your number.
I will text it right now.
Okay, yeah, we just want your number so you'll provide, you'll help us through.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Emmanuel Richardson. I joined the conversation from Upper Caldwell.
Okay, go ahead. Upper Caldwell. Let's hear you.
So, you see the problem with Grand Cayman County, and I can say this to you. Honorable Senior Taylor need to understand the reason why you see Senior Taylor highly involved into this election process, because you want to pay Honorable Hassan Kiazolu, because Hassan Kiazolu supported him in the 2020 election. This is why you're going everywhere, you're going all out to make sure that Hassan Kiazolu interest, you want to protect Honorable Hassan Kiazolu interest. But Honorable Simeon need to understand, people who are living on Sierra Leone, some of them, majority of the people are living on Sierra Leone coming into Liberia, the very people who made some of them to win in the past. These are the very people who coming back to obtain a new voter registration card.
Are they Liberians?
But most of the people who coming from Sierra Leone, are people who have our own voter registration card.
So the question here is: are they Liberians? Let's accept that they were successful to have gotten into the system, and then they voted. But this time around, is it really good to keep encouraging them to take advantage of the process?
No, I'm saying to you, over 90% of the people who are coming, there are some few bad people, there are some Sierra Leoneans who try to take advantage of the process. But almost 90% of the people who are coming back to obtain new voter registration card, most of them from Grand Cayman County. Okay?
What does the election law say about those who want to register? You should be a resident of a district or a community before you register.
So Kidman like Lofa, Kidman like Grand Jide, Kidman like Nima. Now there are people who reside in Grand Cayman County at the border. Some of them do their farming in Sierra Leone. Some of them go there and sell. Some of them have the relationship there. So you will find out that they will spend more time on us. But they get a home in Grand Cayman County, they get a family in Grand Cayman County. These are the people who are coming back. But from one group of people to think because they are not the one who talking to people and bringing them back. So they should stop everything. It is wrong. The reason why these guys are doing this thing, they are not questioning if these guys are Liberian or they are Sierra Leonean. They fear here, the people who are bringing them. These people, they are not in the interest. The other people have their own opinion. So because of that, they want to disrupt the whole process. If these people were coming to camp behind Taylor and Honorable Simeon Taylor and the other guys, trust me, there will be no noise in Sierra Leone. And we even got intel that is very Simeon Taylor and Honorable Hassan Kiazolu were in Sierra Leone encouraging some of the people to come and register. But right now they are going against the process. It is wrong. Okay. It is wrong. We have to stop that.
It is wrong to have people coming into our country to register. If it happened yesterday, it shouldn't be happening. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much. This is Bobby Abu Menska. I phoned this morning from the office of Summer Beach, District 6 on the SD Copper Rule. Thank you very much. Let me appreciate you guys this morning. Let me, I'm here for Kidman County. I'm based in Mosurado County. Firstly, listen, when people who are still in Mosurado are district lawmaker, like Hassan Kiazulu, who are filled
Can you go to the issue and forget about Hassan Kazulu?
Okay, look, listen to the issue. No, but listen, that's where all the problems started from. You listen, to address the issue, we must first notify the.
But what I want has to do with he failed in Maserado. If he failed in Maserado and then the people or grandkid man see he failed when they go for election, he win, lose.
Right, it is a constitutional right for the people of Kimado. But that is my beloved country, and that country needs to be in order, stable. People coming from Sierra Leone, you must know that it's a borderline country. You must have Liberian who resides in Sierra Leone has the right to leave from Sierra Leone and come and register in Kenya country.
And after election, they go back. And after election, they go back.
Okay, then let me ask you now.
No, I'm asking you now. Then after election, they go back. How can we verify as to whether they are Liberians?
Fine. Those are work with me. No, if they are Liberian, never tells you say bring your birth certificate. You know all those things are required to show to you as a Liberian.
Did you also recently follow the immigration service that almost 6 to 8 persons were arrested, and an immigration officer from Sierra Leone was part of that particular number?
Everyone that will come from Sierra Leone.
My man, did you follow that particular thing?
That's what I'm saying. I said, I agree with you. Not everyone will come from Sierra Leone will be a Liberian. But listen, you have people that living on the diaspora to come here and register.
So now, if all of the questions that you talked about, the issue of the National Elections Commission asking for birth certificate, you think they were going to obtain those cards when when they were asked to do those questions to provide those documents?
Yeah, it left with the RS to ask them. I saw the RS asked some of them, and many of them couldn't provide the document, so some of them were arrested. But no whether Liberian are in Sierra Leone, they have the right to come and register. The same senator that are fighting today, before he began senator, those same polar land country, there where Sierra Leone came from.
Who do you support in Grand Cape Mount?
A register in Sierra Leone and voted for senator.
Who do you support in Grand Cape Mount?
Listen, actually, right now, when it comes to the county election, I know I'm supporting, right now, I'm supporting Shamu. I'm supporting
Thank you. Thank you. 0770907907. Don't you calling on restricted number? Wouldn't take you. Harris, we take that call.
Yeah, we take this person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
My name is Mamadou Fale. I do join you from Broadview City, citizen of Grand Cape County.
Quiet.
I listen to you guys in studio very well and lengthily, and I must appreciate all of you. But the issue here is, firstly, I'm not condemn the act of any violence into our country. That's our motherland. But honestly, to be sincere, we are going to get you guys a protesting vote come October. You know, Senior Taylor, them, they are trying to pay back. He is trying to pay back, firstly, he is trying to pay back Honorable Kazulu for what Kazulu did in the event that occurred in Latvia on the Raspo Highway. We are aware. We have cogent information that Kazulu was the one that instigated that violence on the highway. And he is again trying to pay back Honorable Boss Sherry on the issue that occurred in Bambara, Pokpa district currently, where this saga and is trying to occur and is happening. We have also an audio recording on a worker of Boss Sherry that the issue that occurred in Bambara during the campaign in 2020 was instigated by them. It was an instigated tactics that they played. We sent some of that.
Okay.
In the audio recording.
Iris, we take one more call. We'll go to Emmanuel Gongo this morning on the show. A person is on the line. Yeah. So let's take one call this morning. We will all of the information you guys are receiving will get to you people one by one, and we'll verify. We'll do an in-depth investigation. Right after this conversation, we'll do an in-depth conversation, and at the end result, we'll get to know the root cause of some of these things right here this morning.
This will be our last call.
I think Representative Bob Chevy just confirmed that he wants to speak with us.
We've been blessing the court to you since.
Good morning, let's hear you. You should be our last call on this issue. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're live. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Talking with Gian Segme
Jim, you call from where? Go ahead.
from Logan.
Go ahead now, Jim.
Okay. My own contribution had to do with election commission. I blame election commission in the entire process. Because if you find a candidate taking people from Sierra Leone coming to Liberia to vote, you expect a candidate from the process. And you said that example 1 or 2 times, other people will be afraid. They will post up to the whole thing, but they will continue process. Now, every time they bringing people from Sierra Leone to come in Cape Man. At the end of the day, if someone doing that, then they come with a birth certificate. Because you will not know the difference between the Sierra Leone and the Liberian over there. They across the border there. So how do we know the difference?
Okay.
So you have a kind of a birth certificate that should come that will be able to know that, yeah, you are a Liberian, then we can register you. Or other than that, we can register you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Let's use that.
I think we'll have to take Honorable Sheriff.
You want to take Honorable Sheriff? That will be a time we got to go.
Let's just squeeze in because you.
I don't know.
I consider squeeze in, perhaps.
Emmanuel Gongwe.
Is he the one?
No, Emmanuel Gongwe is on the line. Good morning, CRC. Good morning.
Good morning, Paco, and good morning to people in Radioland.
It is great that we have conversation with you this morning. Liberians are listening, they're watching as well. And it is key. The last time we talked about the National Elections Commission giving you the green light to being a full-fledged political party. You enjoyed that right. You celebrated the independence of the National Elections Commission on that matter, which encourages democracy and the rule of law to be respected in our country, Liberia. Sometimes when it is on the opposite, things are said. How are you with this process before we get to the issue of your recently held convention?
Well, we are okay. We still have confidence in the Elections Commission. We hope that they will do the needful things and conduct the pending elections with utmost, transparency and accountability. We have the conviction that they will subscribe, to the constitutional responsibility granted them.
Okay, that's good. That, of course, you enjoy, and your institution as well. People supporting your institution to enjoy, I guess.
Well, people will obviously support our institution to enjoy the constitutional requirements that we all have to meet and we all have to enjoy.
Okay. Recently, you held a convention. Bring us up to speed. Issues leading to that particular convention.
I think you need to qualify that to say recently you held a very massive convention. The convention that can be compared to none of the rest of the other political party conventions in Liberia without being disrespectful to all political party. But if you are to watch the conventions and footage from the convention, you know that the EFFL convention was the largest political convention in the last 5 to 6 years. And I can say to you, the convention was even much more mature than most of the elite political parties, because there's no complaint, there's no violence at the convention that can be reported. The convention was done in camera. we decided to make the convention public so that the public can view the process, so that you enjoy the internal, democratic procedures of our institution. So I can only say we have fulfilled the mandate from the Elections Commission that we should go to conventions and have legitimate leaders of our party elected, and we have done so. And hopefully today or tomorrow, the vice chair for inter-party and NEC affairs, as well as the Secretary General, will be submitting to the National Elections Commission's the convention report.
Let's look at some of the things that occurred. Let's look at who were those in attendance at the convention, and those elected so far to positions, and how were they elected?
Well, we elected 44 individuals, because by our constitution, the deputy president of the EFFL cannot be elected, can be appointed. Then the armed, the rare armed that we call the defender of the revolution in the EFFL, 3 persons are elected from that. So we elected members of the army of the EFFL, which is the chief of staff of the army of the EFFL was elected. Then I was elected commander-in-chief and president. In Liberia, you would say political leader of the EFFL, so I was elected. Mr. Steve Koluba was elected, chairman of the EFFL, and then a veteran Liberian journalist, Julu Johnson, was elected Secretary General, and then Eric N. Collins was elected Deputy Secretary General for Press and Publicity. Lawrence Cole was elected Vice Chair Trade Union Affairs. A lot of officials. Like I said, we elected 44 individuals, to steer the affairs of the Central Revolutionary Council. In the coming weeks, we will begin appointing members of the Governing Council.
How open was this process, looking at the names of those you just mentioned?
Well, the process was open to the public. The media viewed the process. Candidates that applied for different positions were called, even though 100% of the candidates were elected on white ballot. But we allow people to apply for different positions. We, published the position a few months back, and people applied for the position. And the elections were done on white ballot. Very peaceful, very maturely done.
Okay, so let's look at the names being mentioned so far. Were they people who were associating with the EFFL in its struggling times and periods? One may say, what runs to mind when they are on board now?
Well, they are all original members of the EFFL. In our struggling time, they were there, and that's why the leadership, the delegate, felt that, they deserved the time, to serve the institution at the moment. So they were there when we were struggling.
Okay, all right. So let's move on, and I saw the political leader of the AMC and the political leader of the ALP. What were they doing there?
Well, we invited key opposition political parties. We invited the Unity Party Standard Bearer Joseph Boakai. We invited the CPP Standard Bearer Alexander Benedict Cummings. We invited ALP Standard Bearer Honorable Benda Uri at the conventions as observer of the convention, and to make a statement at the convention, to make solidarity statement. And so we afforded them the opportunity, having observed the conventions and the credibility attached thereof, to make solidarity statement. So they made solidarity statement, and in fact we used that occasion to bring about reconciliation between Honorable Benda Uri and Alexander Benedict Cummings. We allowed them to shake hands at the convention, because we, from the EFFL perspective, believe that we have to have a reconciled opposition, not necessarily putting
Boagat or Cummins on the same ticket, but ensuring that we have flexibility among ourselves, because we know very well that either Mr. Cummins will go to the runoff election with George Weah, or Mr. Boagat will go to the runoff election with George Weah. But at the end of the day, because there are peace and there are reconciliation within the opposition bloc, in the runoff elections, we can all throw our weight behind the person that will go to the runoff election with the president, so that we can have the president removed democratically from office.
What do you think it was key to have invited just only Cummings, Joe Boakai, and the likes of Benino Yuri, and not other political institutions, also in the opposition?
I think they are the you would say the quote unquote big voices currently within the opposition, and that's why we thought that it was important for us to bring them together. The other thing is that we are aware of the tension that exists in between them. As a young progressive political institution, we are playing a very mature leadership role by conducting a dialogue process and ensuring that these political institutions or individual iron all their differences in the best interest of our society, not comparing them to run on the same ticket, but ensuring that there are harmonies between them, because we are very much aware of a runoff election.
Do you see a success coming together of these political leaders as per what you have envisioned happening in Liberia ahead of the process?
Well, I'd say a great success. I believe that they are very honest, because we were very unequivocal. We said to them, look, the young Liberians in the hall are watching your step, they're watching the leadership role you play. They want to see to it that they learn from your mistake and they learn from your success story. So if you claim that you are a leader that is not vindictive, a leader that believes in forgiveness, and you have to demonstrate that in the public. And I think the two of them woke up, they shook hands, and you could see the smile on their faces, and then the whole went crazy, with celebration that these great sons of our country who been in political disagreement over the last few years can now once again shake hands, and that was very, very wonderful at the EFFL convention.
You come from Maigibi, Emmanuel Gongwe, Mr. Gongwe. How decentralized is this leadership of the EFFL?
Well, we took into considerations the geopolitical space of the country. So the party is decentralized in leadership. I think 3% from Mikey become the one national leadership position. I came out from the convention as the political leader. Danny Mose won as a vice chair for political affairs, and Blackie won as vice chair for administration. All of us from Magibi, and then the chairman comes from Lofa. The vice chair for Indo Party comes from Maryland County. The assistant vice chair for Indo Party comes from Grand Juda County. And also we decentralize the political leadership. We believe in decentralization of power. And that's why we've been advocating for the decentralization of the economic opportunities in the country.
Let's look at the youthful representation. Normally, we see young people behind you. They've been represented from the angle of the EFFL. Let's look at their involvement into the convention and having a leadership role so far.
Well, if you look at the party structure and the leadership of our party, nobody in the leadership of the party won convention that is 50 years old. If you look at the party, predominantly the party leadership constituted young people.
Okay. Now the convention is up, and what next, Mr. Gonkwe?
Well, like I said to the delegate from Magibi at the convention, we are now going to roll our sleeves to focus on winning the senatorial elections in Magibi. We are certain of victory. We are doing everything. Though the sanctioned criminal Nathaniel Mangill is using government funds to truck a lot of people, but you can never truck more than the residents of Magibi. So we believe that we will come out victorious in the October 10 elections. So we are going to roll our sleeves. Candidates that are expressing interest to run on the EFFL ticket, we have settled the committee to work along with this candidate to make sure that they understand the political ideologies of the EFFL. We are not a political party that believe in the elite political style of the country. A lot of people do politics in Liberia. They don't do politics. We believe from the EFFL perspective, politics is about engaging into issues that brings about transformative leadership. Many times people in politics in Liberia, they focus on job seeking. Their decisions are made based on the fact that they need jobs, opportunity. We want to change that narrative. We want to make sure that politics in Liberia is practically based on service delivery. So those who are joining the EFF and wanting to contest on the EFF ticket, they must go through some formality. They must go through some, fundamental ideological understanding of the party doctrine, so that you don't join the party, you win on the party ticket, then at the end of the day, because the ruling party has come to power, you join the ruling party like you see in Liberia. And that's what has made politics in Liberia so chaotic, and at times the ordinary voter do not want to participate in politics. That's why you see people doing commercialization of politics in Liberia, because they don't provide any sense of direction. We want to make sure, even if it is 10% that will contest on our party ticket, so be it. But we want to make sure that, we bring in hygiene and sanity to the politics of Liberia.
There are people concerned, and we could use that to represent their views. As a matter of fact, why would a political party certified by the National Elections Commission being highly concentrated on the Senate seat and not the presidency?
Well, I've always said to people, I don't think any of us in the EFFL have the qualification now to compete for president. None of us in the EFFL, even though if you were to make me president today, I will be 500 times better than George Weah as president of Liberia. But nevertheless, I still, hold the conviction that none of us.
Why you think none within the EFFL holds your qualification? What is the qualification?
Well, because we believe that we want to distinguish ourselves firstly, by going to the legislature and doing what is required of us, so that the Liberian people can follow, trust us, and say, look, this political party, when they came, to existence, they refused to contest for the presidency. Their focus was on transforming the legislature. Now that they have transformed the legislature, thinking about the presidency, I think we can trust them. It makes the campaign process much more easier. So we want to firstly go to the legislature and distinguish ourselves, so it's because you see, the Liberian people themselves, they are now suffering from voter fatigue. They believe that all these political people are the same, and every time you talk to them, they say they're coming again. There's that kind of lack of anxiety in the political space now from the electorates. The only thing that is bringing up anxiety right now in the political space is because George Weah and the CDC has underperformed, and there's the growing desire to replace them, and that's why bringing about renewed commitment and renewed anxiety. But other than that, Liberians in totality don't believe in the political process anymore. So we have to reawaken that spirit. And the only way we can reawaken that spirit and encourage them to form part of the political decision-making processes of the country is by, taking our attention from the presidency and focusing on the legislature. And then once we distinguish ourselves on the legislature, the Liberian people will trust us and say, look,
so it tells that you will be throwing your weight as a political institution beyond an opposition candidate in the 2023, that's October 10, 2023 elections.
Oh, certainly. That's what we're going to do. That's why we are waiting to conclude, with the listing of our candidates in the respective counties. And then after concluding that, both the candidates and the Central Revolutionary Council of the party will sit down and make a decisions on where we are going. Based on that decision,
the last time we spoke with you, you threw your weight behind Joseph Boakai. And now you're telling us that the executive committee members and candidates and the rest of it from the party will have to decide. Won't you have a direct influence when the party says they want to go the other way around?
Well, I am an individual. The party was proposed when we were making some of the comments. Now the party is a registered political party with leadership. We tried to distance ourselves from the elite, way of politicking in Liberia, where the political leaders would make unilateral decisions and force the rest of the other political parties, officials to adhere to that decision. I want to make sure that my leadership is different from the leadership of other political leaders in the country. My admiration for individuals in the political space should not influence the decision, for the executive committee members of the party or the Central Revolutionary Council. So let me allow the Central Revolutionary Council and our candidates in the various districts and county for senator to join the phrase and make a united decision. And that decision will be communicated. And then we can move forward with the campaign process.
As per the influence, sometimes we see political institutions are being run by the political leader financially. So you have the political leader having a direct say of things affecting the political party. Now, the EFFL is up and is committed of one way or other supporting our political from the opposition, the political candidate party from the opposition. He is so committed of getting the Senate seat for Mike Gibby and the rest of others. What type of political party are you building where Liberians who will believe in the independence of that party can come on? What type of members are you looking for?
Well, we are building a grassroots political party. We believe that, by not following, the traditional political way of running political institution, we believe it has always undermined the credentials of political parties and the leadership of political leaders. We don't want to follow suit. We want to create our own narrative. We want to create our own leadership footprint. That's what I said. Our party would make a decision. The chairman of the party, part of the reason why the EFFL has never been into conflict in the country is because of the way, I manage the affairs of the party.
You need due-paying members. You need due-paying members that will maintain the party.
That's why we are inspiring our members to do. We just held a very elaborate convention, and most of the support towards I can say 95% of the support towards the national convention came from our members. People took on the responsibility to finance certain portion of the convention. As I speak right now, the national chairman is making his way to dispatch. The only delegation that I left in Monrovia right now is a delegation from Maryland County. So the delegation will be leaving. The chairman is going to meet them and then dispatch them to go to Maryland. So our party, everyone is useful in our party. So we allow people to make contribution. We allow people to make determination on what their contribution could be, and then they make that contribution. Whether it's $5, 10 cents, or 5 liberty, we respect each and every member of our party.
Okay. All right. So before we can take leave of you, Honorable Gonko, there is this issue that is in the public. I saw I saw an order from the Supreme Court of Liberia, which I'm finding to actually read. But your EFFL, and I just hope you could just speak to it for the next minutes, and then we'll call it a day on this segment. Your EFFL filed a writ of prohibition to the Supreme Court to look into the matter of the Executive Order 177 by the President, ordering government officials, most especially political, appointees in government, like ministries, ambassadors, and the rest of it, to resign on or before April 7 if they have interest to contest in the October 10, 2023 elections. Your EFFL sees this as a constitutional violation, and you want for the Supreme Court to explain the entire issue. Liberians are listening, and they want to know from which backdrop you decided to do this.
Well, we have noticed that the government of Liberia, and specifically the president, is replacing democracy with a form of monarchy government, an absolute form of monarchy, because the president is abrogating power under himself. There is an existing code of conduct, and a code of conduct is a statute, because both houses, pass the law, and then the president signature that law. There is no fundamental legal grounds for the president to issue an executive order that fundamentally replaces the existing code of conduct. So that's the reason why we ran to the Supreme Court, because we are afraid that one ceremony, the president will wake up and issue another executive order that will put aside the PPCC, all the GSC, all the internal audit secretariat. We have a governance system. We have three separate branches of government for coordinating. Now, the House of Representatives and Senator passed a law. The executive branch of government signed on to that law. But here we are. The president is leaving the code of conduct aside and developing his own law, because the executive the executive order, in the personal wisdom, is a law, that people will have to respect. We are saying, no, Mr. President, there is a code of conduct. If you want to implement a code of conduct, as you claim, then set up the ombudsman. Then implement the code of conduct in its entirety. You cannot come out and leave a law one side and subscribe to something you call a code of conduct. And that's what, Nelson, you saw the people put aside the mineral development agreement in Bombing County with Western Cluster, and they started operating on MOU. We want to make sure that going forward, we are bringing the president to check legally, because we cannot allow the president and his government. You saw what happened with the LCC when the government came up, because Martin was investigating the cronies of the government or the president. They decided to tamper with the LCC, and it took the Supreme Court hard time to even come up with a balanced ruling. We see the president violating the Constitution consistently, and there's nothing has been done. So we from the EFFL, like I've always said, we are here for the long haul. We are here to correct the system. We are here to bring sanity to the political governance of the state, and that's why we have moved to issue a writ of prohibition. And gracefully, the Supreme Court decided to invite every one of us, both the Ministry of Justice and the EFFL legal team, the Supreme Court on Wednesday. So Wednesday, the legal team will be there, and I'm going to show up at the Supreme Court to hear the argument.
I'm concerned. In 2014, the Code of Conduct talked about the issue of 2 years to election time, political appointees or presidential appointees, let's get it right, should resign. Now, it was amended in 2022 that 1 year. One might argue that the president is in no way in error when he issued an order instructing those he appointed in government to exist, to leave government, to resign prior to election. One may say that is still in a 1 year period.
No, the argument is not whether it's in 1 year period. The argument is the lack of constitutional backing of the executive order. So it is not whether it is in 1 year. We're saying you cannot replace an existing statute. When the president began to replace law that were passed and printed into handbill with executive order, then we have to worry, because similar thing happened in Tunisia. The president began replacing, existing statute by using executive order. And one ceremony, he got up and dissolved the entire legislature. We don't want a repeat of what happened in Tunisia a few months ago in Liberia. And so we want to correct the president now. The president should have rather issue administrative notice instead of executive order. But because the president is surrounded by a group of incompetent people who don't even understand the fundamental basis for governance, that's why we have the situation now, and we have to run to the Supreme Court for interpretation.
The national
Emmanuel, the fact is that the code of conduct in recent times has been ignored to some extent, if we may say it, especially that provision calls for officials, appointed officials of government should resign at least 2 years prior to the elections. We want to consider the current dispensation that officials, while serving in government, are contesting these very elections, which to some extent is affecting the country. Do you, despite the president being in violation of the code of conduct that you spoke of, are you considering that the matter he proffered that those officials should resign is legitimate and that they should follow suit?
We are not talking about the legitimate concern of people resigning, because if the president is even serious about implementing the code of conduct as he tried to portray in the public, I know the president is not serious about that. For example, the code of conduct calls for the appointed officials of the executive not playing an active managerial role in political party. Jefferson Koji is a city mayor and secretary general of the party. If the president is serious about code of conduct, then Jefferson Koji should resign today as mayor of Monrovia and focus on CDC. Wolokoli Afana Ministry, Jangako Afana Ministry, all of them should resign. The gender minister, all of them who are holding political position in the CDC should resign, because that's what the code of conduct call for. That's what I said in our interview, that the first step to a long legal battle with the executive has just begun. Because when the Supreme Court come up with a ruling on this matter, that decision going to inform our next step. We're going to issue a writ of mandamus to compel the president, to implement the code of conduct in its entirety. Because if we don't take the route to come up clarity from the Supreme Court perspective on the code of conduct, every government will come to power and they will use the code of conduct as a political instrument, and nothing will happen. We want to make sure that the code of conduct become effective, and by doing so, we are going to the Supreme Court. At least we can have a ruling from the Supreme Court on the very proposition of the code of conduct. Then we have a legal instrument, we have reliance that we can use, so that the next government will not repeat what George Piat is doing.
The National Elections Commission has a part to play, looking at the conference with you and those from the Ministry of Justice as well, looking at the implementation of the national election. That's the code of conduct.
Well, I don't know whether the Supreme Court is inviting the National Elections Commission, but what I can say is that our legal team will be there on Wednesday.
Okay. All right. Thanks for joining us, Honorable CRC. Wish you all of the best. And what will be your parting comment quickly before we take leave of you?
Well, I just want to say thanks to our supporters who gathered. At least the debate of EFA get number is over. We have had the biggest convention so far. The ruling party held a convention in darkness. We held our convention publicly before the media. So no more debate about whether EFL got numbers. You saw thousands of people who attended the convention. So no more debate. I think we put that debate at rest. The public now is aware that we are the fastest growing political party in Liberia.
That is concentrated on a senatorial seat in Margibi.
No, not concentrated on the senatorial seat. We are focusing on the senatorial. We have people are coming. Somebody have reached out to us to compete on our party ticket in Meriden, for example. Okay. People are coming from Grand Crew, for example. Right now, our team in Bapuru County, they are having discussion with candidates who want to run on our ticket. In fact, there's a guy called Joseph Dees who went to have a discussion about his candidacy and asking his supporters in Bapuru County as a weak political party. The young people in Bapuru County said, we only want to see the CRC in Bapuru County with you. That's all we want. He started looking for my number. And then he called me and said, but man, I don't even know that the people in Bapuru are saying you should come and campaign for me. So, the young people across the country love the party, they love the militancy, they love the way I conduct myself, they like to see me around. I thought you saw the convention. To the point where the security have to find a way to get me out of the convention, because everybody want to come around, people want to touch me, people want to take photos. It was an excitement, So I'm saying to you, the party is the fast growing political party in Liberia, and me and no other opposition political party or ruling party get argument on that one.
Yeah, and I just hope you take into consideration that some of the pressure groups that used to support you, now that you are a political institution, will have to stay back.
Well, I mean, pressure group that support. Listen, for example, the guy who got elected as the vice chair for trade union affairs, he is in Patel. He's the Secretary General of Patel. So it tells you that the EFFL has always been the strongest political organization here. We have ourselves planted in all the different trade union organizations, and the vice chair for trade union affairs has begun this morning. Having meeting with the different businesses. We strengthening ourselves in the different businesses, so that the day we say we're shutting down Monrovia, we shut down Monrovia without any problem.
Thanks for joining us.
That's what we're doing.
Mr. Gongwe, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we got to go. You listen to Emmanuel Gongo. He is now the political leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia. He talked about the president's executive order issued sometimes in March, calling on appointees in government to resign on or before April 7.
Yeah. And the guy have 4 more days to that.
Yes. So Josephine David who won't be represented. What they got there? John J. Bakwe.
Josephine David will be also.
Eh? Are you so afraid for her? So you listen to Gongo. We take your calls right here, but we got to go. Coming up very shortly, Aris. Yeah, we'll take calls. 0770907907 0880907907 are the numbers. Aris, take that call.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to the voice of Nigeria family. Good morning to my fellow Nigerians on Radio Land this morning.
Go ahead.
By the way, introduction, I'm Apostle A.F. Kamara, calling for district number 10. I joined your conversation this morning for my residents of former community. And I would like to say thank you very much to my senior brother in studio there, Emmanuel Gongo, for your good decision you took to bring our political leaders together under one umbrella. Because at this junction, we need uniformable political institutions that will be able to eliminate the so-called incompetent leadership that today we are facing in our society.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
Go ahead, let's hear you.
Yeah, and this is Paul W.B.A. speaking from District 1, Magivi. Yeah, I listened to Emmanuel Gongo, and I want to say thanks to Mr. Gongo Ali for being the standard bearer of the EFL. Liberia, we are looking for somebody that will liberate the country in the hands of those wicked guys who are drinking their wine and eating their chicken thigh, and they are forgetting about the masses. So, Emmanuel Gongo, continue. God will bless you in your national endeavor, that you will go one day a president for the country. Let God bless you.
Thank you. We take this president. Good morning.
Yeah, Apostle Kamara. But now Josephine is going to resign for her post as a commerce deputy inspector, and the list go on to order. But because of the incompetence of John Manor, we are administration.
They will get up to the 7th of April to resign.
Anything we are here.
As per the president's decision, Mr. President executive order. So I think she has like three days to go. We hope and see she work that in time. We talk to this person. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
Thank you. My name is Timomo Masakwe. I call you from Davano Street, Trenchard, Coconut Plantation Community.
Let's hear you. Go ahead quickly.
And let me say thank you to the CRC Honorable Emmanuel Gongo for sending frame with the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia that today they are seeing a political status. He did so brilliantly, and I must commend him.
The guy is out. So there is a protest right now at the Ministry of Transport. Employees of that ministry are protesting for salary increment now.
I think that protest is in continuation of the Fridays, the one that began on Friday.
Yes.
And the protesters had informed us that until they are going to reassemble.
Yes.
To ensure that the ministry, through the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Transport, increase their salaries and benefits. They remembered the Decent Work Act of 2015 request that everyone working in both private and public sector should make the minimum wage of $150. So these employees have said that their monthly earnings is about $100. So when taxes have been removed, sometimes it ends to $65, some of them $70. And said for over the past 3-4 years, there has been a continuous negotiation between them and that of the ministry. And every time they go, the ministry will say we are looking to the matter. And so for them, they believe that is long overdue because the government cannot commit herself to certain law that she cannot set certain laws and she refuses to go by it. And so they stood 3 minutes ago on Friday. But Paco, one of the things that will amaze you is that when we on the scene the last time when Transport Minister Samuel Wudu came, when the press addressed him on this matter, all he said was that he's going to prevent the protesters from coming out on today. That every actions they're going to come up with in terms of locking the ministry, he's going to ensure that the police and law enforcement authorities will be there to take them out. But he failed to speak to the issue on Friday as to whether the claims, what the guys are saying, it is true or not. He failed to establish that.
I think the ministry is locked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's another protest. Aggrieved Fendale residents are protesting over the prolonged refusal of President Weah to address their land dispute. That is ongoing. They said the president allegedly has refused to address the land dispute. The issue of land dispute is something, so the protesters from Fendale are out right now. We're watching. Not a good one, not a good sign so far. Ministry of Transport is on protest as well. Fendale again, and it's on how. But we got to go, Harris. We got to go. We'll be here on tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully. Harris will be here on tomorrow in continuation of the show.
Yeah.
Yes, and
that's been a good one, though.
Yeah.
And trust us on this Green Cape until we are following up, and we're going to provide you update on it as well. So
yeah, sure. So you join the evening show. We'll make sure we get all sides of the divide, making sure that you get exactly what you need to know. Harris, we gotta go.
Yeah, certainly we're out.
Okay. So it has been a great time. Let's say all of those who follow, we say thank you for following us. Join us on tomorrow at 7:30. We'll be here again with another interesting edition of Good Morning Liberia. Today, we've been your presenters, Abraham Parker and Harris Whaley. Yes, tomorrow we'll be here again with another one. It's good that we talk Liberia in the best way in order for Liberia to get better. Till then, have yourselves a wonderful time. Bye-bye.